Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when and where you're joining from. It's a pleasure for me to give this brief presentation on green IT, a topic that is very close to my heart. In particular, I would like to bring out the key message that while it is important to reduce energy consumption, it is even more important to ensure that you are getting the most value out of what you actually consume. IT is an important ingredient towards this goal, or in other words, IT is important for green IT. Let's put IT aside for a minute and look at why organizations are looking to go green. First, cost is the most compelling driver for a corporation. There are many ways to save costs, such as fuel in transportation, electricity for buildings, energy in manufacturing, and so on. And while all of them have a result on the bottom line, they also are very beneficial to the environment. Second, regulatory pressures are mandating many industries to track and manage their environmental footprints. Third, even if not all industries are governed by green regulations, many are still voluntarily opting to track, manage, and report their eco footprint for brand value, stakeholder pressure, and other reasons. Finally, there are new business opportunities emerging in some industries to create new products and services. For instance, you can look at electric and hybrid vehicles in automobiles, eco-friendly products in retails, and so on. Here is the outline for the rest of my presentation. I'll first talk about greening of IT, data centers in particular, which is normally referred to as green IT. In this context, one may view IT as a problem and look at solutions to green this problem. We will look at ways to maximize the utilization of IT systems to make them worthy of their watts. Specifically, I will use case studies to show how continuous monitoring of data center servers and cooling facilities help spot inefficiencies and how IT tools have been used to optimize them. In the second part of this presentation, I will discuss how IT can be used to address a much larger scope of environmental problems in other domains. I will pick one example and show how ICT can be used in energy management of buildings. Here again, an in-house developed tool has been used to identify and optimize the watts expended. By extracting the maximum value out of each expended watt, we are essentially doing more with less. Let's first look at greening of IT, where we are trying to make the most of IT. It is now a widely known fact that data centers and other ICT systems are significant electricity guzzlers. Just to put things in perspective, Greenpeace projects that by 2020, data centers around the globe will consume more electricity than all of Canada, Brazil, Germany, France combined. That's a big problem at a global scale. Even if you look at it from a single data center's perspective, power-related costs are very significant. The chart here on the right puts together the amortized monthly costs of different components in operating a data center. A data center today spends as much in paying its monthly utility bill to the power company as it spent in purchasing the servers in the first place. Even more significant is the capex cost of power provisioning. Provisioning for each watt of power in the data center costs as much as $10 to $15, even if this watt is not actually consumed. So all of this makes it very important to optimize the power related costs in a data center. So considering all these factors, yes, you can try to lower the electricity consumption of our IT systems, but more importantly, for each watt of power that you consume, what is the value or the productivity that you get from these IT systems? That is a very, very important question that we need to answer. Here are some of the ways we can try to extract the maximum value from our IT systems. First, are you using the most energy efficient systems? Note that energy efficiency has been roughly doubling every 2 to 3 years. Consequently, a timely refresh of your equipment would make things more energy efficient. This makes us re-evaluate our entire refresh equation where formerly people are looking only at cost of the IT systems and using, let's say, 4 year or 5 year time frames to refresh their equipment. But power may mandate that you refresh things faster because that really changes the entire equation. Second, is your hardware and low-level software really energy proportional? That is consuming power that is commensurate with the work that it's doing. As an example, if you take a car and you are trying to drive from a source to a given destination, you obviously don't drive the entire distance on a single gear. Same way, today's processors are providing you multiple gears in the forms of frequency and voltage scaling. And these are knobs that the hardware exposes to the software. So is the software really employing these gears in the right way as your workload changes? Third, are your IT systems right sized? Virtualization and consolidating multiple workloads on a smaller subset of the systems and shutting down the rest when they are not really needed to manage elastic demand is perhaps the most energy efficient way of leveraging of the provided capacity in your data center. Finally, techniques which schedule the load on these systems based on available slack and power, capacity, and cost have a lot of value towards ensuring the right watt is put to the right use at the right time. Here is a case study of how continuous monitoring and questioning the value for the watts consumed has helped optimize one data center. Power Insight is a monitoring tool developed by TCS to continuously track power consumption as well as the utilization of servers within the data center. Extensive monitoring using this in one data center showed a glaring disparity between what the servers were consuming and what they were actually doing. For instance, if you take server number 19, which is the server which is consuming the most power, the utilization of the server was hardly much with respect to what else was going on in the data center, which is implying that the server is not really worth its watts. In fact, theoretically, the network that all these servers were performing could be done with just 22% of the power that they were all consuming in total. This led to consolidation options to ensure each server yielded more value to each watt that was being consumed. A significant portion of a data center's power can also go towards cooling. Using computational fluid dynamics modeling tools, the airflow in a data center was modeled and the impact of different options on temperature at different spatial resolutions was studied. As can be seen from these pretty pictures, increasing the inlet temperature has not really created additional hotspots in the data center. This helped increase return air temperatures and shut off some in-row cooling units, saving considerable energy. Also, it helped optimize the airflow for maximum effectiveness. Until now, we have looked at IT power being a problem and examining how to extract the maximum value from the power it is consuming. However, IT can be a valuable weapon towards reducing the power of several other physical processes and activities. Now let's take a look at those. In fact, ICT's global carbon footprint today is only 2%. However, it has been pointed out that ICT can be the enabler to reduce as much as 16% of global emissions by 2020. There are several sectors where IT can play a critical role for improving the productivity and extracting the maximum value for each watt expended. These include agriculture, transportation, consumer services, the power sector, manufacturing, and so on. I will focus on energy consumption of buildings in the rest of this talk. Buildings, whether it be residential or commercial or industrial, account for over two-thirds of the global electricity consumption. They are expected to be a dominant carbon contributor and are often cited as a sector to optimize to achieve the carbon reduction targets. LEED certification is often viewed as being representative of green buildings. For instance, this graphic shows what is the proposed savings with different certifications for buildings and how do these buildings actually measure up in terms of the targets that are expected to be achieved. There are a number of buildings which are LEED certified which do achieve the proposed savings or even exceed those targets. But there are still a lot of buildings which fall short. Hence, building design is only one part of the equation. Operational efficiencies are equally important. On the operational side, energy efficiency is often assessed today through manual audits that are done once in, say, 6 months or at yearly granularities. This misses out on all the inefficiencies and opportunities that exist in dynamics of building operations, including occupancy patterns, variations in external temperatures, equipment usage, and so on. Hence, we need finer granularity, that is, continuous assessment of whether each watt consumption is justified and how to improve the building efficiency at every instant. Here are some of the ways IT can help towards building operations. We can deploy numerous smart meters with very fine spatial and temporal resolutions to track the energy consumptions in different workspaces during different hours of the day and so on. Of course, there is a high capital cost and deployment cost in having such meters installed. But IT can also be used for drill downs even when we do not want to install so many new meters. Techniques such as signal disaggregation, building simulation, and modeling can be used to reduce the number of meters that may need to be installed. IT can help have a single dashboard view across numerous facilities, helping to compare and benchmark facilities, identify inefficiencies, and adopt best practices. IT can provide tools to answer what if questions that can be used to optimize building operations or even make capital investment choices. Analytics can help spot energy inefficiencies and automatically come up with energy saving mechanisms, which could involve capex investments or even just operational changes. Finally, IT can also help on energy sourcing options, whether it be dynamically picking sources based on cost or when integrating on-site or off-site renewable energy options. Here is a case study of using an in-house developed tool called ECView for these purposes in a TCS facility in India. This is a fairly large facility in southern India which requires a heavy cooling load. It avails metered data whenever available. Even otherwise, it has analytics and modeling tools to apportion energy consumption in different spatial zones. It also apportions such consumption to different business activities and processes and holds people accountable for them. Such information provided considerable insights on efficiencies, identified opportunities for improvement, both on the capital investment side and operational patterns. Some of these were moderate capex investments, such as installing energy savers, room sensors, LED lighting, absorption chillers, and so on. And there were a lot more operational enhancements that came out as a result. Things like desktop hibernation, uh, beacon cooling system shutdown, consolidation of workspaces, and so on. ECB also provides dynamic information on sourcing energy for different optimization criteria, whether it be cost or carbon footprint. Employing this IT platform helps save over 20% in the monthly electricity bill. With that, I would like to summarize the lessons learned from our experiences. I hope that I have brought out the key message that it is important to understand where every watt is going, whether it be in IT or in the physical world, to maximize the productivity from each such watt. Apportioning these watts to relevant activities and business processes lends a rigor to accountability of energy consumption similar to cost drivers in financial accounting. It helps spot inefficiencies and to find scope for improvement. These need to be done in real time or close to real time rather than once a quarter. This is similar to how every CEO today requires an entire organization's financial run rate in real time rather than examining the books at the end of the quarter. One can then analyze the impact of different capital investments and operational changes towards extracting more productivity from these watts. Subsequent policing of this consumption is essential to ensure that we continue to reap the promised improvements. IT has a critical role to play in this process. IT can automate the systematic process of monitoring, analyzing, optimizing, and extracting the value out of each watt as is shown in the diagram here. This, in my opinion, is what Green IT is all about. Thank you.